Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new installment of Getting to Know. This is an exciting day. We're going to have Cruze on, and I thought I'd open with this with some beats. He may have found them a little bit too techno for his style, but he has been known to put music behind his videos, and I found it very fitting. What do I say about Cruze? Cruzy Poo. He is a dedicated player. And his love for the classic Runescape experience, from his playstyle to his quest for more Runite ores, the adventure continues and the game just goes on. His were some of the first videos that I had seen of Vanilla on YouTube, and what inspired me to do my own. He takes his time and moves at his own pace because you can tell quite clearly that he enjoys every moment of the game. I believe that he is, by definition, a kid in a candy store. I remember on earlier videos him saying that he hasn't yet explored the entire map. I believe that he is attempting to savor the moment and not rush through it. I think that he started on Vanilla in mid to late 2019 because he said that he missed the first holiday event, which were bunny ears, but is one of the few, and I mean very few players, to still rock a scythe, which came in the Halloween drop of 2019. They may be the most rare in Vanilla. Maybe somebody can comment and correct me if I'm wrong. I would assume it's either the scythe or bunny ears. I could not tell you what either are worth because I have not seen or heard of a single one selling since I started 2 whole years after the scythe drop. But back to Cruze. He has a history on Vanilla and a history on original RSC. And we're going to dive in with some questions and answers in the show. If you missed the Lone Lamer video, the format is quite simple. I ask 10 questions on Discord. We go through one by one and talk all things RuneScape. We share stories and opinions. We get real with the listeners and put a face to the name, so to speak, of the player who is willing to participate in this little experiment. So far, we've had Cruze and Lone Lamer on this segment. But if anyone else is interested, shoot me a message because I'd love to expand this. But with so few active players that I felt comfortable asking it first, we only may get a few of these by the time it's all over. Maybe one day we'll get the unicorn legend himself on. Who knows? Either way, they will trickle in slowly, few and far between, I'm sure. Let's jump right in with the first question because after reading his answers, I can tell you that I will have a lot of input to these talking points, I guess is what you'd call them. They're basic questions, but they open the door, so to speak. Really open the door to interpretation. As you can see, we've made some updates to the studio for this particular guest. Some neon lights, and just things that I picked out. I have this idea of who Cruze is from watching his videos, but no, he had no input on this, and I just sort of ran with it. I also put a bigger screen in so we can, cut to things. Unfortunately, I don't have a Jamie, and I will have to bring that shit up myself, which is fine. I figured it would be good for screenshots, references, and completely unrelated GIFs to throw people off. But question number 1. Where are you from? And a little bit of backstory. This can be as brief as you want or as detailed as you want. I don't expect you to give a full life story or excerpts from an autobiography. Just a simple who, what, when, where, why, or whatever you're comfortable saying is fine. You could say your name is Joe Blow from San Antonio, and nobody would know the difference. I respect people's right to anonymity and not being as open as others on the internet. I'm just making a reference to myself, who doesn't really hold anything back. His answer was, I am from Phoenix, Arizona. Originally, my family moved here from New Jersey. I have a lot of good memories from being there. My aunt had a Gateway desktop that I remember, which seemed like the coolest thing ever. My grandma had a Gateway desktop. But my life before living in Arizona was all about living in the woods, finding salamanders, digging up worms, and going fishing with my cousins. I used to build forts all over the neighborhood out of sticks and branches with traps in case kids tried to mess with them. Haha. I left right before the acorn war that the kids down the street were plotting. A lot of stuff like that. Good times. That's quite a move, man, from New Jersey to Phoenix, Arizona when you're a kid. That's talk about the other side of the freaking planet. I mean, those who aren't in the States, it sure feels like that. Going from New Jersey to now, I don't know what part of New Jersey. There's rural farm country New Jersey, or there's like city New Jersey. But Phoenix, Arizona, I have this picture of just a just a desert, really super hot. And it's funny today, as I record this right now, it's 95 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio, which is rare. So I'm getting a taste of Phoenix here in Cleveland. But yeah, that's growing up outside, I can really relate to that. I mean, geez, these kids today, I sound like such a boomer, but I mean, that's all there was. You grew up outside, you did stuff outside, that's all you had. I mean, yeah, I completely relate to that. Question number 2. When did you start playing the game yourself? Are you OG or early 2000s, or did you discover it later? Or did you start after RSC officially shut down in 2018? Because that, somebody could be like that. His answer, when I arrived in Arizona, all of the kids would line up and take turns on miniclip.com playing Heli Attack 2, and that was my introduction to getting hooked on pixels. It was fun to get all of the cool power-ups and special effects. I also liked Bubble Trouble, but back to the point, I started playing Runescape in 2005. I was relatively young, but it was a mesmerizing experience. My good friend who made the account, I still play to this day, logged in on Classic to show me how funny they walked. And without knowing it, I believe it allowed me to access the game at any time thereon after. But sadly, I never gave Classic a real go before 2018. The closure was really sad to me. I had no idea about the magical essence of Classic because every time I logged in, which was maybe once a year or less, I would just walk around Lumbee and maybe make it to Drainer Bank and log out until next time. I can remember being confused about how the banking system worked, LOL. So I've always been a RS2 type of guy. I also miss the early RS2 vibes. Old school RuneScape is way too overblown in my opinion. RSC is the shit. So we have somebody here. You played a little bit, but you didn't really give it a shot before it closed. So you were mainly an RS2 player. That's interesting to me. 2005 would have been the year, 2005, 2006 would have been the year that I kind of hung it up. Yeah, so basically it was a story of betrayal. RS2 and old school RuneScape, and the way that it switched and changed out, and you just kind of like lost interest in it, and then came back to. So that's a completely different level that I wasn't expecting. Yeah, interesting, and I can tell that this one has layers to it that we'll get to in a future question. So moving on to question 3. Advice for new players. This could be money-making, skilling, grinding, mentality as far as keeping a mindset is concerned. It could be just have fun and enjoy it, or it could be a precise plan that you would tell them to follow. My advice would be to take your time and enjoy your progress. This isn't a game that you will master easily. It takes time, and hopefully people out there can find solace in a game that isn't easily beatable. At least in the beginning. Getting to 20 defense and wearing mithril armor was really cool. The armor in this game looks juicy and shimmery, especially the rune pieces. Other than that, I'd say getting to know people and finding satisfaction in collecting large quantities of items goes a long way for gaining wealth and is most likely helping others in the process. And it seems to me like Cruze is a lot about community too, I think. I'm pretty sure, and I didn't ask him directly, but I'm pretty sure that he helped out for fun get to 99 smithing, was one of the people who contributed to that. I'm pretty sure. Maybe you can correct me on that. But yeah, taking your time and enjoying your progress. I mean, I could tell just by watching his videos that seems to be a common feature. Yeah, for sure. Number 4. Things you'd like to see happen in the current server. This could be anything from the game economy to the in-game mechanics to updates, events, etc., 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 etc. I can't ever say that right. I call it etc. Answer number 4. I hope this server can last forever. I've played many private servers, and none have been as true and as solid as this one. When people say it's a game, that's just how it is. I'm reminded of how I also hear that whatever you do on the internet is permanent in some way. Or at least to have our progress saved in some way. A lot of places I used to love on the internet are either gone or a shell of what they once were. And it could be super cool if RSC continued and stayed the gem of a game that it is. I think that I'd like to see more new people showing up, if anything. I know this isn't the most cutting edge and enticing game, in fact, quite the opposite. But I'm sure that there's others out there in the world that would either love to have another go at RSC or someone completely new that would end up loving the game style. Yeah, that's, man, I have so many thoughts on this. Like the younger generation. If I try to play this game of relating to the younger generation, I don't feel as if I even have to, because in order for people to play a game, there's got to be people in it. There's got to be a crowd. A lot of people are that way. A lot of people will see it empty and go, cool. No, less people. So I don't know. I would love to see the server last forever. I don't believe that it will. I've also thought maybe Jagex will bring back RuneScape Classic, and I got to be honest with you, I don't know if I would go there if they did. Just because of the way they flip-flopped on shit in the past, opening stuff, closing stuff, I don't know if I'd ever even play their game. Man, I don't know. I hope the server can last as long as possible. But yeah, I don't think a huge mass, people are going to show up in droves. So to me, it's kind of more about keeping a tightly knit community and not being a poisonous, freaking cancerous community like some private servers have. Good God. Even ones that we're kind of closely related to nowadays. That's a great Discord to follow. Not. Yeah, man. I hope it can last, and I hope more people show up. I share the same sentiment. Yeah, I'm just not that optimistic about it. I think it's up to the players to sort of like perpetuate a more of a stronger community feeling and kind of carry the torch themselves when the numbers get so low. But yeah, moving on to question number 5. Thoughts on the current player base and how it has changed since you started. Also, who taught you the most about the game as far as RSCVanilla is concerned? This could be one or as many names as you'd like. And his answer was, the player base has come and gone, but there will always be a group of people that remain, it seems. A lot of people have a blast but complete all 50 quests or not, and then maybe get bored. Who knows? The more people, the more fun. People who helped me out early that I learned a thing or two from, if I can remember clearly, are Day One, Victor, Bank Greeter, Scar, and Inner Smack. Special shout out to Chris Cause, Lone Lamer, and Out for Fun, because they also helped me out a bunch with buying up supplies. I would farm and make good deals for them. I don't know why I call him Chris Cause. It sounds like a magical wizard, but I'm pretty sure it's Chris Cause. I don't know. But yeah, the player base, and during the time that I've played, it's kind of been the same people too. The only one on that list that I have not met is Day One, and I think I've seen him and Inner Smack in a bank before, but not really talked to him. But yeah, the player base remains. People come and go, and yeah, I've seen a lot of those people who come in and just they get to like 1,000 overall in like no time at all, complete legends, and then they're gone. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing Lone Lamer said too. It's very, very similar. Question 6. Will you share your bank picks on OnlyFans for $19.95? This is a rhetorical question that I asked everybody, but the answer is obviously, no, Matt. So the serious question, how much sentimental value do you put on your items on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, it's a game. 10 being, I would not let go of what I have if held at gunpoint. These are my most prized possessions. So number 6, his answer was, I could post bank picks, but only once I have it organized better. I really value my pixels, but maybe wouldn't risk my life to protect them. I guess you could say on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 9. Okay, so I do value what I've collected and what I've worked for. So he's definitely a 9. 9 is high. So yeah, he really cares about like what he's done, and God, I'm probably pretty high on that list too. You value all that time that you spent on the game, all those experiences that took you to that point. Whether you got something off of somebody in a strange way, or you were there for a holiday drop, I think it's pretty cool. And I would probably be pretty high on that list too, like scale of 1 to 10, maybe like an 8. Number 7, thoughts on vanilla being 1x and true-ish to the original game. Do you think that things like global chat are skirting a fine line, or would you like to see even more quality of life improvements to the game? Like, auto sorting and deserting, a center bar that shows exact, experience and fatigue percentages, like they had in the later stages. A grand exchange, like something insane. In other words, how vanilla do you prefer the experience to be on a scale of 1 to 10? How good is the reproduction to you? Again, with me in these scale of 1 to 10s. I do this a lot in real life too. His answer, I like things just as they are currently. The small quality of life improvements are nice, especially with global chat being there, just because at times the online count can be low. If things really start ramping up and more people join and spam global chat, it might be time to turn it off. I agree. Hopefully, one day we see that. We see that happen. I don't know. I feel like there's already something built into the global chat now that I think about it. Am I imagining things, or do you have like a? I think it's like only 5 seconds, but maybe there isn't. Maybe I'm thinking of something else entirely. If you enter a message in global chat and then try to enter another one, it'll say there's a certain time frame. But yeah, moving on. Question number 8. Do you think Jagex themselves will bring back RSC? And at this point, would you ever consider going there instead of Vanilla? If Vanilla shut down tomorrow, would you continue playing RSC elsewhere or call it a day and move on to the next game? Maybe old school RuneScape. And his answer was, it's hard for me to trust Jagex with anything, really. It's hardly a group of special people that originally started the games that we all used to love. It seems to be all about the money to them, even if it traumatizes the player base and leads to the never-ending power creep and haphazard updates. If Vanilla closed, I'd go somewhere else and keep playing, no question. If Old School RuneScape came back out... When Old School RuneScape came back out in 2013, I was already on it all over again, especially after grinding all 99 combat stats in 2011. Oh my god. So here we're peeling back the layers of this onion. Yeah, so he got to 99 combat and then they shut it down. Oh boy. Okay, so the fate of RSC was like being put on death row and awaiting execution. But the way RS2 evolved was like watching your best friend get hooked on drugs and someone who was unrecognizable by the end. Jesus, I agree with that so much. Okay, and then he says, so much progress and pixels wasted because they couldn't give an option to transfer to RS3. I believe that's why so many people used to play RS2 back then, throw so much shade at RS3. All right, rant over. The unrecognizable drug-using friend is just, I relate to that so much. Because they added so much shit to the game. Just so much useless shit. I mean, you already had a good game. All you had to do was just, like, graphically update it. If you had a graphically updated version of RuneScape Classic that didn't look like trash, I would play it. I'd be all over that. You know? Put RuneScape Classic in Unreal Engine. Done. 100% done. I would play the shit out of that game. I don't play RuneScape Classic for the amazing graphics. I like the graphics. There's something about it that I enjoy. The simplistic shading, and it's just real simple, and it's not like, it doesn't hurt my eyes after looking at it for a long time. But yeah, man, the way you got set up like that and got 99 combat, like, not very long before they shut you down. And I thought, I didn't really keep up with this that much, but I thought you could transfer your RS2 to RS3. See, I wasn't in on it at that time. But yeah, man, I wasn't even aware that they shut that down like that. Yeah, that's, pardon my French, but that's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. All right, moving on to question number 9. What other games have you no-lifed before RuneScape Classic? I'll share mine. Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, Counter-Strike Source, Grim Dawn, Stardew Valley, and Torchlight 2. You know what? I would add another one to that. I played a shit ton of Kingdom Come Deliverance. That was a fun game. His answer: there aren't many other games that I've played a ton besides RuneScape. I guess this could have happened with any game, really. It's just that I was at the right place at the right time and really gravitated to it. I do like arcade games like Ms. Pac-Man, Galaga, Pole Position, Donkey Kong Asteroids, hell, even the Pong. Even Pong I find fun. I used to hit the pizza place near me with a bag full of quarters and just play Pac-Man for hours, then grab a slice. So he has no-lifed any other games. He's a RuneScape diehard with a side love of arcade games. You know what? As far as games go, I have played a lot of goddamn games in my life, but I have never really gotten into arcade games. I have the oldest system that I currently have, and I still have it over here, is my Nintendo, the original Nintendo. And it sometimes gets some play. My nephew, man, he loves Mario. I don't know why, but I think it's like Nintendo sold the rights, or I said that wrong. They didn't sell the rights. They're just accepting the use of more and more and more, like cartoon Mario, YouTube channel Mario. He loves watching like playthroughs. He's 4. So yeah, that's, man. I have played so many games in my life, like no life played many games. The original Pokemon Blue. Oh my god, I put so many hours into that on a Game Boy. I think it's kind of like it has to do with your age and stuff like that, but yeah, I found that very interesting. No other game but RuneScape. Moving on to question number 10, the final question. Finally, what is your dream in RuneScape Classic? A bank account with everything in it, to be the wealthiest player in the game, to have every rare, to have 100% completed to 1782, or to become a frickin' mod? The answer, my dream in RuneScape Vanilla is just to see a lot of people join, to see more people coming through and enjoying the game. A vibrant PK and staking scene is what a lot of others find enticing too, I'm sure. Other than that, maybe being in possession of a Christmas cracker. But I'm not going to be holding my breath on that one. Thanks for doing this. Peace. Thanks, man. Thank you, Cruze. This was cool, man. I think the underlying theme of this whole talk has just been about community, perpetuating a more positive community, and all of that stuff. It when you have such a small player base, you got to be positive. You gotta help people out, but you can't. You got to like to kind of toe a fine line. I mean, we'd all like to see. Hey guys, we got so many people that we have to make another world. So we'll see you on World 2. But yeah, man. I agree with a lot of this, man. I wish there was more people. I don't think that there will be, but it would be cool to see. And cool to see more people like Cruze. And like, this guy documents a lot of stuff. He puts it on YouTube. He has old like screenshot collections and from the archive.org of like RuneScape Classic screenshots and just old stuff, and is really interested in the game. And he's very different from other people that I could have asked these questions to. I feel there's a layer to Cruze. It's just it kind of defines those people that play a 1x game instead of like go for the quickest thing they can. It's you enjoy the game, therefore you want to play it as it was. And be in it. You want to be in it. You want to finish it. I guess I would imagine at one point Cruze wants to finish the game too. I guess I didn't ask him that. But yeah, it's been all basically we need more people playing, and I think in order to do that we have to build the community up. We have to do shit like this and talk to each other, and actually give our take on how this server is going, just so that on the off chance that anyone who runs this thing is listening to the feedback and cares enough to maybe proactively do some things to change that, maybe we can say that we've made a difference, and maybe we can say that we've helped this thing grow a little instead of just sort of use it and that's it. So yeah, I guess we're sort of killing two birds with one stone here. We're getting to know the player, and we're kind of doing that too. So hopefully that's what we achieve with this. And if anything else, we get something we can put on the internet and document through our time here and playing our favorite game. So thank you very much, Cruze. This has been great, man. Hopefully to both of you, Cruze, Lone Lamer, we can do this again sometime, and I can think of some different questions. Because I asked both of you the same questions. Sort of. There's only one that I kind of changed. Because I thought, nah, I'll ask both of them, and I'm sure one of them won't be down to do this. So you both did. I had the same questions, and as I've done this, I can think of multiple things that I would ask. Unfortunately, I think doing an audio podcast with like live audio, the logistics of that would be a little bit loopy. It would have to be done on a Discord voice channel at like a particular time of day, and one of us is on the other side of the planet. So I don't know. I figured this would be a great way to break ground and just get it all out there. So thank you again, Cruze, and thank you everybody for listening. Peace.